Hey everyone, my name is Anthony Jung and I'm the Executive Chef of Retail Dining here at the University of Massachusetts. And today I'm going to show you how to make Korean barbecue tofu with Nasoya Super Firm. Alright, so let's start with the tofu here, and I'm just going to cut it out of the packaging. And there's a little bit of whey in here. Just a little bit of the liquid from the tofu, so I've got a paper towel. It's just gonna soak up some of that. All right, and I'm just gonna put this off to the side. Just pat it dry real quick. A paper towel, okay. Get rid of that. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut it right in half. Okay, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna dice it and into fairly large chunks here, and one more here. Okay, so we've got these nice little cubes here. Okay, and I'm just gonna put them in our bowl. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of kosher salt. It's really important to season all your components, and I have some cornstarch as well. So we're just gonna give this a light little dredge. All right, so I'm gonna give this a mix, and then I'll show you the next step. So for the next step, I've got a cast iron pan here, and I've got a burner, and I'm just gonna turn this to medium high. And I have some canola oil right here, and what I'm gonna do is add about 1/4 cup so we can pan fry the tofu, which I have just over here. So while this is coming up to temperature, I'm just going to chop up a couple aromatics. We have a peeled ginger here and some peeled garlic. And what I'm going to do is just give these guys a quick chop here. And this is what's really going to perfume our sauce, which is made from Korean pepper paste or gochujang. A little bit of sugar, in this case actually some brown sugar. I have some sesame seed oil as well, and then just a couple garnishes that we'll get to at the very end. So you can see I'm just giving this a very rustic chop here, and what we want to do is get it a little bit finer. And I prefer most of my Korean cooking with generally just a little extra ginger. Just perfumes everything really, really nicely, and it pairs perfectly with garlic. So just a couple slices on the garlic here. All right. And again, we're just going to turn these guys around. Give this a chop. We're pretty much there. All right. So I'm just going to leave these guys on the cutting board here. And it looks like the oil is coming up to temperature. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to check the temperature of that oil. And one of the ways to do that is you can actually just put a little piece in there. You can hear that it's just barely sizzling. So it's coming up to temperature. I'm going to give it another I don't know, about 20 seconds or so, and then I'm gonna add the rest of the tofu. So let's take a look at our tofu here. And all right, so you can see we're getting some nice caramelization there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn all of these over, and then I'll show you the next step. All right, so our tofu is about done here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put it on this sheet tray that I have here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour off most of that canola oil, and then we'll start sweating our aromatics. All right, so I poured most of the grease out of the pan here, and let's go ahead and add our aromatics. All right. And make sure we get all of those guys in there. And I'm just going to add a little bit of salt. That just helps with the sweat that we're going to work with here. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to sweat this for about 3 to 4 minutes until the garlic is really aromatic, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, So our aromatics have been sweating for about 3 to 4 minutes, and they're right there. And if actually they're just sizzling away really nicely here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add our next ingredients. I got a little bit of sesame seed oil here. I've got my gochujang paste here. Just going to add that right to the middle. All right. We've got some brown sugar, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add about half of it. We can always add a little bit more if it's not sweet enough. And I'm going to add a little bit of water to help dilute that paste. Okay, so I'm just going to give this a stir. I'm going to let it cook for about 5 minutes or so, and then I'll show you next step. Our sauce has been simmering here for a couple minutes, and what I am going to do is I'm going to add our tofu, our crispy tofu, back into the pan. Right, you can see it has just a really great kind of burgundy red. Okay, and let's get that guy in there. These guys in. Okay, and what we're going to do is I'm going to shut off the heat. Okay, and I'm just going to give this a little toss. So very similar to like buffalo chicken or what have you, and by pan frying that cornstarch onto the tofu, it's going to have a medium for that sauce to stick to the tofu. So it's going to really have a nice glaze to the tofu, which I think you can see right there. Okay, so this is about set, and we're going to plate this. All right, so our tofu is all set here, and I just have a white china plate here, and I'm just going to take this out. I'm just going to put it right into the middle of that plate. You can serve this with some rice as well. Actually, you know, it would actually taste really good on some some mac and cheese as well. But you can be kind of creative with what you're going to put this on. You can see that we just have a beautiful sauce here. All right, and make sure we get all those guys into that plate. All right. Just a little bit more sauce. Just garnish the plate just a little bit there. All right, and then I've got some black and white sesame seeds here. They just add a little nuttiness and some visual as well. And then I have some sliced scallions on the bias. And obviously this is going to add a little bit of flavor and some green decorative color to this as well. So let me just move this. Okay. And there you go. We've got our no soya barbecue Korean tofu.